this year.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop.
This marvelous year, we received 3 excellent friends. The first one's name is the coronavirus. As we all know, he is really cruel and hungry, and he has already consumed 1,368,117 lives all over the world. He also brought his best friend, whose name is the lockdown. According to the statistics, the lockdown touched all countries, excluding some African and South American ones. In March-April 2020, most borders between countries were closed, the coordination stopped. Schools and universities started working online. All these restrictions and limits caused a global crisis in most countries, like the US, Europe, and of course Russia. Many people lost their jobs, got redundant, and also received really small stipends from the government. Personally, thanks to all those trustworthy friends, I cancelled a lot of internships. I cancelled all my plans for March, April, such as going to Israel, and lots of my family's friends died because of this shatter virus, including my Moscow Flats host, who was the kindest person I've ever known. Isn't it enough? Isn't it enough? I suppose it is. But coronavirus still wants to continue his personal storyline.
Dear listeners, Chris mentioned that the Year of the Rat brought us 3 friends. One of them was named coronavirus. I'll describe you the second one. Social movement Black Lives Matter. Or not? Why not, you ask? For many, the protests became the opportunity to cash in. Looters rob stores and offices where other black people work, break into cash registers, steal equipment and clothes. This was the reason why even new Oscar criteria appeared. If you want to win the prize, your main character must be played by at least one colored actor. So today, white actors are being fired. The instructions from movie studio bosses are very clear. Only members of minorities, national or sexual, can get the job. One of the Hollywood's most influential black directors and producers, Academy Award winner Jordan Peele, who directed Away and We, publicly stated that he wouldn't hire whites to work in his films. It's not that I don't like white people, but I even seen movies with them before. A top manager of one of the studios commented on this in a private conversation as follows. If white directors said something like that about black actors, their careers would be over in the blink of an eye. Few people today will doubt these words, so we can confidently say that except for coronavirus, 2020's presented as reverse racism. Oh, I'm so tired of this year. The boss delays the salary for 2 weeks. The editors say for latest, for better times, my interviews. And even the teachers, our tutors, cancel the class. And on the day of the failed seminar, they ask where everyone is, really? What? Sorry, what? The camera isn't turned off. Oh, sorry. Dear listeners, sorry for this cry of the soul. Our TV host Lena will tell you about the third friend, the third prize present of 2020s. Your Anastasia.
In 2020, the world was watching the USA president election with bated breath. The tight race, seasoned with endless bullying of Donald Trump on social media, ended up with Joseph Biden winning the battle and becoming the 46th president of the United States of America. Mr. Biden defeated President Trump after winning Pennsylvania, which put his total of electoral college votes above the 270 he needed to clinch the presidency. President Donald Trump continued to dispute the election. He's launching over a dozen legal efforts to prove fraud, challenge counts, and delay certification. Every lawsuit has effectively failed so far. On December the 14th, the Electoral College cast its votes. The election is finally moved into federal hands. 2 months after Election Day, Congress is to elect the next president on January the 6th. Melania Trump won't be decorating the White House for Christmas, as well as she won't be doing it at Trump's house anymore. She left him after they broke up. I'm sorry. I broke up with my boyfriend after 2.5 years being together this year. Excuse me.
USA. Why don't we talk about what happened and is happening right now in Belarus? On the 9th of August, presidential elections were held there. According to the results of the official exit poll, Alexander Lukashenko received about 18% of the votes, and his main rival, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, about 7%. Thousands of Belarusians took to the streets of Minsk and other cities. Mass protests began. During the dispersal of the protest action, policemen used stun grenades, firecrackers, rubber bullets, and water cannons against the protesters. There were also reports in the media about the use of tear gas. The brutal crackdowns were not limited to beatings and detentions. Unfortunately, some of the protesters died. To this day, Belarus continues to fight injustice. Protesters take to the streets in the rain and snow to show their dissatisfaction with the election results. Many European countries considered that the election in Belarus were rigged. Will the situation be solved in favor of the people? We can only hope for the best. 18%? This is even more than my win rate in League of Legends. And I also lost my first large-scale tournament and couldn't even break the record of last year. I'm sorry.
As far as we mentioned the US presidential election, we shouldn't forget that our country also had a high-profile elections in 2020. Due to the vote on amendments to the constitution, the word "обнуление" came out to the second place in the Russian top of the most popular words of the year. And of course, if not the coronavirus that worries us so much, we would still be discussing the miracles that were happening in our country. Beautiful voting spots located on stumps, benches and high lofts. Wow, everyone gets upset, but I think that the Ministry of Health just took care about our well-being. So, everyone remembers the results announced by the CIC, 77.2% for. And now, I'm sure that the 1st of July could be considered as a national holiday, because now pensioners receive a decent pension, the memory of ancients is reliably protected, and 2 gays behind your wall will not have a child. We can only wait for new elections in September 2021 in the State Duma. It will be very difficult to beat the voting on stumps and benches, but I don't doubt Ella Pamfilova's creativity and professionalism. But in contrast with the Russian elections, many of my efforts weren't crowned with success in this year. Sad, of course, so I just hope that the next year will make my dreams come true.
Unfortunately, efforts are not often appreciated, which can lead to some serious problems. On May 29th of 2020, obviously, A man-made disaster occurred near the city of Norilsk, a fuel spill. More than 20,000 tons of diesel fuel was dumped from one of the reservoirs of Nornickel, which at the time was listed as under repair. The fuel instantly spilled over the Ambarnaya River, getting into the soil and poisoning all nearby lakes, ponds, and other water bodies. Local authorities learned about the accident only a few days later, when the local residents of Norilsk City started a mass media campaign and raised some noise in social networks due to massive deaths of animals and the incredible color of the river. And the color was really impressive. That's what they say, the murderous beauty. This event is the largest man-made catastrophe ever happened beyond the Arctic Circle. The damage is estimated at about 150 billion rubles, and in the most favorable scenario, partial restoration will take over 10 years. The negligence of the authorities, bureaucracy, and a banal human factor, everything is mixed up in this story. Well, it's like everything in our life. It's difficult, incomprehensible, and very twisted. But it's very, very important not to give up.
Yes, of course, it's true. Coronavirus managed to ruin our plans, to change moral standards, to damage the world economy. But we should be grateful to him. Why? Just because he taught us to appreciate offline life, offline meetings, offline smiles, long roads to our working and studying places, and so on, the reality in the whole. And now we are much stronger, wiser, and friendlier to one another.
Maybe in the new year of the bull, people will end this game of tolerance and will stop seeing everything as a personal offense or a risk to face the problem when a white actor becomes endangered species. Try to maintain adequacy in these hard times.
I believe that in 2021 Belarus will cope with all the troubles. We should not give up so easily either. In the new year, let's confidently go towards the goal and not be afraid of difficulties. Then I am sure that you and I, too, will definitely succeed.
Despite the sarcasm before, I sincerely hope that the next year will be much more favorable. I want to believe that fair elections, good health, and great happiness await us there.
I hope that the USA will get through all the controversy and the new era with any president selected will be the best. And I'm ready to move forward too. Sometimes it's really hard to let it go, but if deep inside you feel like it might be better to do it, just do it. Leave all negative emotions in 2020. New year, new chapter.
Well, I truly believe that the next year will be better than this one. We will start with correcting all the mistakes that were made in 2020, and then I think we've all learned something during this year. So, in 2021, we will keep on making new mistakes. Happy New Year!
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun.